Mary had a good Mother's Day. She got a Mother's Day gift from my daughter Landon, which she wasn't really surprised, but she said, she didn't have to do that. And Landon and I actually were together like a week or so before Mother's Day, and Landon said, "I'm going to buy Mary a Mother's Day gift," and bought her a really nice blouse. And I thought, you don't have to really do that. And she said, "Well, I consider her like a mom." And it kind of struck me because Mary's a good deal younger than I am. And I just thought, does she really fit the mother's image beyond her own children? And evidently she does. So I thought that was very sweet. I gave my wife two gifts. One was from the Museum of Modern Art, and it is a little thing for a plant. You put the plant in, and you put water around the clay pot, and it seeps through the glass to keep the plant alive, to keep it fresh. Somehow it seeps through the porousness of uh, the holder, of the plant holder. And I also gave her, and I found this when I was out with Landon, I gave her this little gadget you attach to your keychain. And if all of a sudden you're in an uncomfortable situation, like really uncomfortable, you touch a button and this alarm, pardon me, this alarm goes off. It's a screeching alarm because she walks the dog sometimes in a forest preserve and it makes me nervous. So those are my two rather unusual gifts: clay pot that waters itself, and alarm.
You're very practical. Mostly, I think the biggest threat to Mary are alligators. I wonder if they would be. I wonder if that would be useful to scare off a gator. Like,
That's a
do they
good
respond
question.
to a
Yeah, that's a
shrieky
good
alarm
question.
like that? I give those.
Probably not.
I give my girls and Rachel and Brittany every Christmas. They get some new personal protection device. I've given them
Really?
like I've given them alarms and pepper spray, and I've given them everything but brass knuckles and switchblade knives. Like I do that, and I know I you know how I know that at least 50% of them don't carry them because I look at look, it's not on your keychain, it's not in your bag, it's not in the cup holder of your car.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, like I don't know what you think. I think Karamia thinks that if someone approached her in a menacing way, she could debate them on a subject of philosophy. Now that would send them running for cover, for absolutely no
Yeah,
question.
right.
But yeah,
Right.
it drives you crazy when you give them those gifts that are meant to help keep them safe. But to be fair, Kevin gives me all that stuff and I never remember to carry it either. So I'm just a big old hypocrite. I had a nice Mother's Day. I spent my girls both came home. So we spent the weekend just kind of hanging out and doing girl stuff.
No, that's sweet.
Um, and I didn't get to see my mom for Mother's Day, but I'm going out and spending a long weekend with her in July. So I'll see her then. It's weird. I have such complicated feelings about Mother's Day. So complicated. And even as a mom myself, I'm that worst nightmare mom. I'm like, you don't have to get me anything, and I don't even want you to come home if the roads are wet, and you don't have to call me. In fact, if you just want to like go no contact and pretend you were hatched in a laboratory, that'll be
I have been working with you. I have been working with you for so long that I remember
fine.
when we were first on the air, the first year on the air, and it was a Mother's Day, and I was putting together one thing or another about Mother's Day. There was like a comedian was going to do a shtick about Mother's Day, and you said I have absolutely no feelings for this holiday at all. Because this was before you got back together with your mother. You were estranged from your mother for like what,
Well, I
14
don't
years,
like
something like
I'll
that?
tell you why I don't like that word estranged, because it implies that there had been a conflict. What I was kidnapped by the other parent at age 12 and then taken from my mother for 16 years. So
Right.
yeah, I'm not criticizing you, Bob. I just don't like that word estranged because it estranged is what happens when two people have a disagreement and drift apart. I was kidnapped. That's slightly different and terrorized.
It's
But my
just
mom is,
your
yeah,
feeling about it. Your feeling about the
yeah.
holiday, if you want to call it a holiday, has totally changed over
Well,
the
yeah. I
years.
mean,
That's how long we've been together.
I'm a mom now and a bonus
Yeah.
mom. My goodness, I'm
Right.
like the lady who lives in the shoe. I have so many children, I don't know what to do.
Bring whatever you drink and celebrate Happy Hour Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern live on the Bob and Sheri Facebook page.
Click on the contest page at bobandsheri.com and tell us about a teacher that deserves a getaway. We're sending teachers to Margaritaville Beach Resort this summer from Visit Florida.
When we were in high school, what would our future unfold for us? And once we finished talking about that and the mics were off, very casually, Lamar mentioned that he was an appliance salesman at the age of 14.
It's so impressive.
14. I want
Yeah,
to
but you
know.
can see you would buy an appliance off of 14-year-old Lamar. You know you would.
Yeah.
I probably would. Now, How
Yeah.
did that occur? How did you become an
Well,
appliance?
I worked at a hardware store and a Tasco store, and we carried Speed Queen appliances. We sold everything. We sold tires and lawnmowers and all kinds of stuff. But
Mhm.
I got to talking to the Speed Queen rep came by or whatever, and I was talking to him and got the in-depth thing about it. Was really interested in it, and he said, I believe you can sell some washing machines. So he talked to my boss and he said, we're having a school in Atlanta. And if you can get him there, he said, well, he can sit through the school with the rest of the people. And the guy said, okay. So they took me. And of course, I was the youngest guy there. I mean, these are all adult
I was
men.
gonna
These
say.
are all grown ass
Yeah.
men.
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I sit down and found out all the stuff. So then if somebody came in, and I'd work the floor, and if somebody came in and wanted to talk to somebody about a washing machine or a dryer, they would call me over and I'd walk up, and I know that people looked at me like, what? And I would say, you interested in a washer dryer? We carry Speed Queen. It's the best on the market. I said, you want me to show you some stuff? And they'd say, yeah. And I would show them that at that time, Speed Queen was one of the few washing machines that had the stainless steel drum, and all other washing machines had a perforated drum. Now, here's the difference. I know you want to know what the difference is. With the perforated drum, as your water's in there washing, your dirty clothes, as they're becoming clean, they're still in dirty water. And so when it goes to throw the water out, the centrifugal force, all that dirty water goes right back through your clothes. But with the Speed
I'm
Queen,
sold. I'm sold.
yeah,
That
Let
makes
let
so
him
much
finish.
sense. Yeah.
Let him
with
finish.
with the Speed Queen, it has a solid stainless steel wash drum, and the way it rinses is after all the dirty, everything's ready, and you got to get rid of the dirty water to bring back into fresh water. It goes out the bottom and straight out, and it does not go back through your clothes. It goes, it's sucked out a different way. So your dirty water's gone, and then the clean water's back in, and even that clone that rinses out, it still leaves, but it doesn't strain back through your clothes. And people love that. And I explained to them,
Is that the pitch you just did? Because that's a great pitch. Could you do that at
yeah.
14?
Oh God,
Wow.
yeah, with no problem, and throw a little bit
Yeah.
of funny stuff in the middle of it too. I'd have them giggling before it was over with. And I also on the washing machine, I said, look, some washers are going to say this is how many pounds it'll hold. Here's what I want you to do with the Speed Queen. Go ahead, set your washer, so put your stuff in there, and as it gets going, start putting your towels in. Keep putting the towels in, and as long as they're making a roll, as long as they're rolling, you're good to go. Once you see the roll start to slow down, don't put any more in there. That's how you know you've got the most in there to still get the best wash you can get. Don't just dump
Were you
everything in there.
appreciated by that hardware store? Did anybody
Oh
say,
yeah,
you're
they
doing a hell?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they treated me. Oh yeah, they were super nice to me. They were super nice to
Wow.
me. Yeah, that was great.
Wow.
I enjoyed it.
And you
And
still
you
couldn't
sold
have
a
confidence
lot
with the
of
ladies. I
Yeah.
would have thought that would have given you confidence because you're
Well,
throwing a
if
good
they
line.
wanted to buy a washing machine, I'd be confident for sure because I could sell them a washing machine.
But
And
nothing else.
remember, he was
Yeah.
14. How many 14-year-old girls are in the market for an appliance, Bob?
No, but I'm just saying, if you're able to talk to adult women with that confidence and you're getting, positive feedback, I would think that, you might be saying to yourself, I'm kind of a stud.